Well, how come they haven't sued Jaguar? She's outside still talking. With defamation, you know, even if you don't have any money for people to get, it still stops you from saying certain things.
Y'all better get in here for this one because Dame Dash just sent the internet on fire after he went off on Jay-Z for trying to silence Jaguar Wright. Dame said the claims that Jaguar made about Jay-Z and Beyonce are 100% true, and that's the reason why they decided to send her a cease and desist. And instead of just suing her for defamation, because they know Jaguar has receipts for what she's saying, and they don't want all that to be out in the public. Dame and Jay used to be real close, even partnered up to create the now-dissolved Rockapella Records. However, Dame distanced himself from Jay after Jay betrayed him and started linking up with industry creeps like Diddy and R. Kelly. Dame is actually one of the people who believed that Jay was behind the death of Aaliyah, and it looks like he ain't backing down from, because he's now leaking up with Jaguar and exposing Jay even more than he already has. This feud between Jay and Dame just got a whole lot messy, and we have to get into it and spill the tea. This fiasco started just a few weeks ago when Jaguar appeared on Piers Morgan's Uncensored show to make some wild claims about Jay and Beyonce. Jaguar has been speaking on Jay for years now because she actually got to work with him at some point in her career and she witnessed some of the things he did firsthand, and she accused Jay and Beyonce of allegedly filling their unsuspecting victims up with illicit substances. And once they were unconscious from ODing on these substances, they would fly them over to the house to do unimaginable things with them. Jaguar also claims that there are bodies in Beyonce and Jay's house, and that Jay had a hand in Aaliyah's death.
Publicly, Dream Hampton spearheaded the Surviving R. Kelly campaign, which fueled the Me Too campaign. And that was all funded by Sean Carter to make sure that Robert Kelly went to jail. Get his lick back. Why is nobody understanding that Dream Hampton was being financed and ran by Sean Carter? They were able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly. How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly? This is insane that people keep refusing to see what's right there. Thousands. I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. Unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about. You must respond. You have no choice. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through our culture and our society for decades. It must stop.
The way that he's been now, that he may start revealing things about other people?
He has no choice. His ego and his drug addiction won't allow him to do anything different. Anybody who thinks he's not going to talk is crazy. The simple fact that he's not saying more now only means that the people who have been protecting him all along, who put him in position to be such a horror to the Black community, still find value in him. He's got everybody on tape.
This interview really shook things up because this was the first time that Jaguar was making these allegations on mainstream media. which meant more people were beginning to take her seriously. And this pissed J&B all the way off. They immediately send a cease and desist to Piers Morgan to basically take the interview down and censor his uncensored show. He did just that 'cause he ain't no smoke with them.
The shocking allegations levelled at Sean Diddy Combs have burst the floodgates on salacious claims about an industry many people believe harboured a monster. Understandably, the internet's ablaze with claims about these events and whether other powerful figures were involved too. Well, last week I interviewed Jagaur Wright, a singer-songwriter who's made claims about Diddy for years. Those claims had already received a lot of attention in the media across many platforms for many years. And that's the thing about platforms. The reality of the modern world is that pretty much everyone has a platform as long as they have something to say that other people want to hear. That's why we invited her on to be interviewed. The people making these claims have an audience with or without shows like mine. Well, Jagaur Wright unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyonce during that interview. As I said in the moment, they were not present to respond or defend themselves. But now they have. Their lawyers contacted us to say that those claims were totally false and have no basis in fact, and we've therefore complied with the legal request to cut them from the original interview. Editing interviews is not something we do lightly at a show called Uncensored. But, like the proverbial cries of fire in a crowded theatre, there are legal limits on us too. And we apologise to Jay-Z and beyond.
A lot of people, including Dame Dash, were not here for this. And Dame made it very clear in his recent interview when he was asked what his thoughts were on Jay sitting Jaguar AS and D's. He insinuated that Jaguar was telling the truth in that interview, and that if she was really lying, they would have shut her up with a lawsuit instead of a cease and desist. In fact, he even went as far as bringing up the fact that Jay and his lawyer Ben Shapiro allegedly sabotaged his deal to sell his shares of Rockefeller, and that prior to dragging him to court, they didn't bother sending him no cease and desist. They just slapped him with a lawsuit right out the gate. Apparently, this is how Jay moves, and he only sends cease and desist when he knows the person he's sending it to has the receipts to defend themselves if it's a lawsuit.
Thoughts on the alleged cease and desist Jay sent to Piers Morgan?
As a businessman and someone that has direct interaction with this particular individual, this lawyer, Alex Shapiro. Remember 2 years ago, I was selling my interest, my 1/3 interest of Rockefeller Inc., which the only asset is reasonable doubt, as an NFT. It was completely legal. The only thing that would make it illegal was if I was trying to sell everyone's. And that's exactly what Alex Shapiro, as the lawyer for Rockefeller Inc., did. Now, what's interesting about that is that lawyer never sent me a cease and desist. Because in essence, a cease and desist is just a warning letter, it's nothing. You don't have to send a cease and desist before you sue somebody. You just get right to suing. So my experience with this person is they never sent me a cease and desist. He just went right to court. I also know that that person accused me of doing something that I was not doing intentionally. So as you see where that case went, they threw it out because they accused me of putting it on the blockchain, as I said, and once it's on the blockchain, you can't take it off. It'd be right there. Then, yeah, that would have been wrong if I was doing that. But what it did do is it made it where it muddied waters and people wouldn't want to buy it. And while we were going to court with defamation, you know, even if you don't have any money for people to get, it still stops you from saying certain things. It still means that what you were saying was not true. There's no validity to it. A cease and desist is just a warning. But how come I didn't get sent the warning? And then again, as a businessman, I'm like, why would they do that? Like, why wouldn't they just sue him? Well, how come they haven't sued Jaguar? She's outside still talking.